Hello and welcome to the Black Box Trading live stream. I am your host JT, and you're watching Black Box. So we're still waiting for this breakout. Anybody else bored? Put your hand up if you're bored. This price act, like, we are seeing bear market lows as far as volume is concerned. The trading activity is just, from the retail side of things, is just dead. And then at the same time, we're all just numb. We're all numb from the constant news update. So-and-so company get Bitcoin. So-and-so Bitcoin treasury companies adding 60,000 Bitcoin to the corporate treasury, yada, yada, yada. It just goes on and on. The demand is there, but the price is not. Let's dive into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. So we're looking at a bull flag. We're looking at a breakout of a bull flag. We got another solid daily candle close. We take a look at things here on the 4 hour. Let's turn alpha metrics off just for one moment, just to look at pure price action. So we're kind of inside of this descending pennant, this descending wedge, whatever you want to call it, this tightening wedge formation. And when we turn the volume on, volume's coming back in. That's good. You know, we were talking about how lackluster the volume was on all of the moves in last in the last live stream 2 days ago. So we are seeing volume come back in. There's a lot of on-chain activity as far as old addresses moving Bitcoin. So we're seeing movement in the market. But yeah, just retail is not here. People are feeling inflation, and people are just not in the mood for investing, which is fine. That's fine. You know, it's understandable. There's a lot of bullshit, funny business going on in the geopolitical landscape and in the news. So we're waiting on that catalyst. We're waiting on that catalyst. Let's catch up with the chat here, see how everybody's doing. Fundy AU, good morning. Welcome into the chat. It's early evening where I'm at, but good morning to you, sir. YOLO Thrill, good morning to you as well. We're trying something different today. We're going to do the daily close. So instead of my morning, it's my early evening. So we're going to give that a shot. See how many people join in onto the live stream for the daily candle close that we just had. We just had the daily candle close about 9 minutes ago. So fresh new daily candle. We should get some fresh new volume, some fresh liquidity, and some price action. I am expecting a breakout. You know, I'm not giving the amount of excitement that I usually give, but this is a solid candle, ladies and gentlemen. We had this, we broke out, retested, tried to give it another attempt, and we've stayed on top of this blue line of support. So it's a bullish candle. We dipped back down below, we got above. If we get a bullish engulfing candle for this daily candle close over the next 24 hours, it's bullish. Like, there's nothing too bearish to look at. It's just boring. Everything's moving slow. That's my only gripe at the moment. Getting back on track with the chat here. Is crypto cooked until rate cuts or tariffs are resolved? Tariffs will not be resolved for years. There will be no, the only way that tariffs get resolved is the market will no longer care about them. You know, the market cared about them the most when they first came out. The market cares about them less now. As far as rate cuts, we have this, it's like the elite, the powers that be, the insiders, the people closest to the fiat faucet, they need to play a different game every single time. So retail is well aware of rate cuts, right? So retail is waiting for rate cuts, and the smart money now knows this. The smart money knows that dumb money has caught on to the fact that they print money and asset prices go up during rate cuts. So they need to come up with different tactics of accumulation. They need to put out negative news events. They need to delay a rate cut. But what they're doing is the US Treasury is buying their own bonds because there is zero demand for the bond market right now. That's straight up money printing. We have QE. QE exists today. QE exists right now. The smart money knows this. The smart money is accumulating assets. The smart money is positioning so that when they flick the switch and they get retail on board, they just make one little rate cut and boom, retail's on. But guys, like, we're in a really good place. We're in a really good place from the fundamentals. Like I said in last week's show, the show 2 days ago, I don't know why I keep calling it last week's show. We're just waiting for that retail catalyst. Volume is just dead. There's just no volume. It does make it difficult to navigate, but we look good. Mauricio saying, hey, buddy, chart looks primed. They looked primed. I agree. It's just the follow through is really, really slow. We're not, and to say that we're cooked is a bit of an extreme word to choose, in my opinion. Let's just put things back into perspective here for just a moment. We're hardly cooked. We're at all-time highs. Let's not forget, we're at all-time highs. And from the bear market lows, we're sitting at 600% up. So we're not cooked. We're doing just fine. We're sitting here pouting like a bunch of fucking brats. 600% up in our portfolio when the S&P is given like what? What is the S&P given the normies? We're very ungrateful, honestly. The S&P from their low to their high is up 40%. Let's do a more fair comparison. When did that low come in? This low was in November of 2022. Let's go to the monthly. Let's go November 2022. Right here. So we'll go from this low. Oops, certainly don't want to open up Zoom. Definitely close that. We'll go from the low to where we are right now, 78%. This was a low that nobody bought. The Bitcoin price was probably a low that not many people bought, but we bought because we had the green diamond right here telling us to buy at the bear market lows. But yeah, we're sitting pretty on 600%. While the S&P is at 78%. So, all things put into perspective, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. But that doesn't mean that we can't be ungrateful Bitcoiners, because we're used to multi-baggers, big time multi-baggers. Cheeto's asking if we can take a look at Link. Sure, we can take a look at Link once we get into the altcoin section of the show. Baloo the Bear, hello, yo. For those who don't know, my old alias was Baloo the Bear. Do you still maintain the 250 to 1 million price target? Yes. Seems like we're selling off every little pump. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Like, get the selling out of the way. The selling will stop. There is on-chain activity to support that. OGs that bought at ridiculous prices are selling, and that supply is being absorbed. We're at all-time highs. There's significant whale selling happening, and we're at all-time highs. We're at $108,000. That supply is being absorbed. Maybe that's what's going on with the Bitcoin treasury companies. They're just absorbing all of that OG supply. Eventually, the OGs will stop selling, and we will moon in a way that will shock you. So is $250,000 on the cards? Yeah, it's still in the cards. We just got to wait for that shift in momentum to take place. B-Man, not bored, but I do believe it's being controlled. I don't know by who. At some point, there will be none left. I don't subscribe to manipulation. I think this is natural buying and selling of the market. Like I said, OGs are selling. We can't see selling with the on-chain data, but we can see old wallets moving coins around on on-chain data. So you can speculate that does mean selling. We're seeing mobility of very old, 10-year plus wallets moving around. Now they could be consolidating, they could be upgrading their security practices, they could be doing a numerous things, but one of those things that they can be doing is selling. So I don't believe that it's manipulation. Let's remind everybody here that Bitcoin is one of the largest assets in the world. Assets by market cap ranked. Bitcoin is the 6th most valuable thing in the world, right under Amazon, right above Google. It's the 6th most valuable thing in the world. You cannot manipulate that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big your bag is. The only ones that can remotely manipulate that, and it's not with direct price manipulation, it's just with market and herd manipulation, is the media and the politicians. Media and the politicians can manipulate the mindset of the herd, but nobody is actually like counter trading demand here. Bitcoin's too big. Bitcoin's way too big to have actual price manipulation. So yeah, just to kind of put that into perspective, or my thoughts on that at least. Still got time to follow your long position. Yeah, we're still long and strong. We got the position right here on BitGet. If you guys aren't already signed up on BitGet, check out the partner links below. You do get a sign up bonus with our link. You can get up to $50,000. Once you click the link, you'll get the details as to how you would qualify for that $50,000. It's a tiered system. You can get anywhere from $100 to $50,000 in sign up bonuses. So check out that linked below, or go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, and click the partner links here. If you click on BitGet, you will be redirected to that offer if you want more information. But yeah, no, we're still long. We got 2 BTC long, $217,000 long, $1,500 in unrealized profits. No big deal. $1,500, bah, whatever. But we're still long. We're still in the position. Stop loss right at this swing low right here. So it's looking good. It's looking good. 6x leverage for those who care. Yeah, let's go to some smaller time frames. Let's see how things are doing on the 4 hour. Actually, let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour. We need to take out this high right here. Once we take out this high, if we take out this high, I do think that we will, but once we take it out, that'll be an acceleration point. So we just got the daily candle. There's going to be some price moves. I think that the price moves are going to go up. So we'll probably battle with this because the volume's been so low. Everything's been a battle. But once we kind of break free of this level right here, that will be kind of the beginning of the move up. And the ultimate goal here is to take out this all-time high, currently sitting at a price here on the index chart of $111,965.80 for the all-time high here for Bitcoin. So a little bit of work to do, But like I said, I'm bullish. Bullish and bored. Is that a thing? Can you be bullish and bored? Because that's how I feel right now. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Are you bullish or are you bearish? And if you're bullish, how long do you think it's going to be before we get a breakout? And if you're bearish, how long do you think it's going to be before we lose this structure and break below this 107 level? I'm curious to see what you guys have to think about that, or just say bullish or bearish. You don't have to do the whole thing. All right. Gravy's in the chat. Cheers. Da Vinci 21. Do you think any chance Powell bends the knee and cuts rates this month, or at least ends quantitative tightening? Again, we are already in quantitative easing. We're already there. When they are buying, when the Federal Reserve goes to the bond market, the bond auction, and nobody buys bonds. So their response to that is to print money to buy their own bonds. That's quantitative easing. It's not, the dictionary definition of what people expect to be quantitative easing, but quantitative easing is increasing the money supply to buy assets. Bonds are assets. They're increasing the money supply and they're buying their own asset. That is quantitative easing. There is no quantitative tightening. They're fooling the market into thinking that there's quantitative tightening while they tighten over here and loosen the shit out over here. So they're showing a tightening of a balance sheet, but a massive hidden quantitative easing. That's not even hidden. It's just people don't realize what it is. Yeah. But do I think that he will bend a knee? I don't know, man. It's all political theater. It's all bullshit. When the powers that be say it is time to rally, we will rally, and we will rally hard. But until the powers that be have gotten into their position, until the composite operator, until the market movers have gotten into their positions and they are allocated accordingly, until they have scared retail out of their positions enough for them to accumulate, we're just going to have to sit by and wait, man. You want to play with whales, you got to ride with their moves, and their moves are slow. Whales move slow. Little fish, we move quick. Dolphins move quick. But the whales move slow. So you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait for the corrupt politicians and the corrupt banksters to be ready. They always will be. That's one thing that we can guarantee. That's one thing that we can always guarantee. Governments will overspend and the banksters will corrupt the markets. So that's why we Bitcoin. Agree, still bullish and boring while the price of Bitcoin is $100,000. Maybe people will be bullish when it's around 1 million. What a time to be alive. People will begin to pour in once we're at 150. Once we get to 150, you might see a little bit of a psychological barrier of demand here, with just 150 being that psychological number that just seems hard to fathom for people. As soon as that creeps up to 151 or 152 or 155 or 160, full-blown up-only market, full-blown mania will ensue. And the herd will come up with reasons. I guarantee you it's going to be rooted in the fact that we have so many Bitcoin treasury companies, and the Bitcoin treasury companies are going to be issuing debt to buy Bitcoin. And they're all going to be following the same Michael Saylor playbook, and they're going to be hoovering up all of the available Bitcoin. And it will be this flywheel of, oh my God, I got to get Bitcoin. All the companies are getting Bitcoin. I need to get this company stock so that I can get more Bitcoin. And it's a flywheel of demand that will self-perpetuate into a mania that will ultimately end in a blow off top. The last cycle, we didn't get a blow off top. We got this kind of double top formation, this stifled, boring 2 impulse bull market with a double top. Or sorry, over here, this big move, kind of double bottom. We didn't get the blow off top that we had the cycle prior, which was another cycle where Trump was in office, by the way. That's when Trump took office. So I'm expecting the same, because Trump's a corrupt politician that likes to make the markets pump. And we got a blow off top in the other cycle. Now the other cycle is kind of, take it with a grain of salt. But if the Bitcoin treasury company mania takes place, you will see price action like this that will result in a blow off top. You won't see stuff like this. This was a stifled market. This was paper Bitcoin. This was a derivative driven market. What do I mean by derivative driven market? Most of the Bitcoin that was being traded was futures contracts and coin and margined contracts. That was the majority of the Bitcoin. And when projects like exchanges like FTX went down, they went down and they held 0 Bitcoin. So there was paper Bitcoin on the issuance side, on the custody side of things as well. So I'm not expecting something like that. I'm expecting a more organic and true amount of demand to come into the market on the spot market. And the fact that we're seeing on-chain selling and still selling a lot of selling at this 100K level, and we're holding our own. Once that supply dries up, once that supply is absorbed by the market, we will transition into this up only. Up only. And it could be an extended market. We could go into Q1 of next year. What do I have here for the... Yeah, this is still showing December for the end of the period here. Yeah, it's on the weekly chart. This could easily go into Q1 of next year. We'll monitor it. We don't get ahead of ourselves before... we don't jump the gun. We don't get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, when December rolls around, if we're still looking strong, then it's very likely that we can continue on to higher levels. Can you use the name The Bear, or do you still use it? It's a cool twist. I will bring blue back, but I'll probably bring blue back in the bear market. When we hit the top and I flip bearish, I become a very different person. And I'm going to need a name change to go with my personality change, because I'm incredibly bullish. I've been bullish since 15K, taking massive positions at 18K. And I've been relentlessly bullish since. And I've held people in positions for the duration of that. But when we get bearish, a lot of you people only know me as a bull. If you've found me this cycle, you don't know what I'm like in the bear market. I am relentlessly bearish. I am equally bearish as I am bullish during a bull market. So I will probably need a name change. Anyways, going back over here. Let's take a look at the point of control here for this consolidation. See how we're doing. Right below the point of control. This is on the hourly. This is a small time frame. So yeah, we're dancing with this level. We need to get above. We need to get we just got to clear 109. Once we're clean and clear above 109, we'll have a good base to be able to take out that 110. And then really not a lot of resistance beyond this point. You can see the volume profile here. The resistance, the volume just drops off from that point. So anything beyond 110 is just smooth sailing. Weird logic. Trump wants markets to do well because he's corrupt. Yep. The market's doing well is a reflection of corruption. Listen, guys, it's debasement. It's debasement. It is a debasement. People call it inflation. It's not inflation. It's not inflation. We have changed the language. Inflation is when demand for something is super high and there's an event that causes that artificial demand to inflate the prices of things. An example would be, the price of lumber skyrocketing after a hurricane. That's inflation. Debasement is when the price of all things, goods, services, equities, commodities, cryptos, go up as a result of the unit that they are being measured with being devalued. The unit being the US dollar. As they print and print and print, those monetary units lose value. When those monetary units lose value, the number of those weakened units that you need to display the value of anything, whether it's a computer, whether it's lumber at the lumber yard, whether it's eggs, whether it's the insurance on your car, the price of gas that goes into your car, the price of Bitcoin, the price of the S&P 500, the price of the NASDAQ. That's debasement. And every politician is completely corrupt because of the fact that we live on a fiat standard. These are the incentives. If you were given the power to print your way out of any problem, any crisis, or any, everyday maintenance of all the social programs that exist in the United States and elsewhere, you're going to print the money. And when you print the money, those who are closest to the faucet benefit the most. Donald Trump, all of his lackeys, all of the banksters who have lobbied for different positions, they're all closest to the faucet. The bankers more so, the central bank more so, the Federal Reserve most. They benefit the most, while the people at the bottom that go to work, punch a card, work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, have, vacation days and need to save up and live their daily lives, they get hurt the most. They get hurt the most. Every politician, I don't care if it's fucking Biden, I don't care if it's Trump, I don't care if it would have been Kamala Harris, they're all fucking puppets that work for the banking cartel that is set up to make your life harder. Sorry, it's weird logic, but fucking wake up, dude. Like, wake the fuck up. This is why Bitcoin exists. This is the whole point. Because the world is a very prosperous place. The world is a very prosperous place. The world is filled with abundance. And that abundance is stolen from us. It is stolen from us by these corrupt pieces of shit who are in power, who are manipulating and debasing the currency for their financial gain at the cost of yours. Sorry. It's corrupt. Trump's a piece of shit. Every politician is a piece of shit. Anyways, where the fuck was I? But it's important for you to understand this, okay? When you know how the game is played, you can play the game. When you know how it's played, when you know the rules, when you're behind the curtain with all the sheeple that don't understand, you will benefit from it. We shouldn't, but at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself. You have to look out for yourself. And the easiest thing that you can possibly do, the most peaceful thing that you can possibly do, is just buy Bitcoin. Because what does that mean? When you own Bitcoin in cold storage, in self-custody, when you own Bitcoin, they have zero control over you. You have opted out of the system. You are not a fucking slave. You are not a fucking sheep. You are out. And it's that simple. And it's a simple thing, but people still struggle with it. Black-pilled. I agree with the whole statement, except I refuse to be blackballed at the point that no one can fight the system. This is how you fight the system. Bitcoin is how you fight the system. They have control over you through fiat currency. For you to choose to not use that controlled system is how you peacefully revolt. That's what Bitcoin is. It is peaceful revolution. Revolution, look at the French. How does revolution usually go down? You find the guy in power and you cut his head off. That's not peaceful, and there's a lot of rebuilding that needs to go along with that. With Bitcoin, we have the opportunity to keep the infrastructure that we have today, the buildings, the roads, the bridges, the government, but we can force the hands of government to be accountable for their job. Their job is to collect taxes, look at how much they got, and decide how to spend it. That's their job. That's the end of their job. Their job is not to print money. Their job is not to steal from your future. Their job is not to create wars that move forever and ever and ever. That's not their job. Their job is to collect taxes, build bridges, clean up fucking garbage, teach people how to go to school, and don't spend more than we give them. That's it. You sound like a flat earther like me. I like your ranting. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm riled up today, I guess. I must have a nicer demeanor in the mornings because I don't usually stream in the evening. Aren't you afraid of the awakening of the people? You know that there are usually consequences. I love the balls. No, I'm not, because honestly, this is so far off base. Like, we're not even talking about TA at all anymore. I don't know if I should go down this rabbit hole, but I'm already this far deep, so I may as well. Am I afraid of the awakening? No. As people wake up, they're going to do the most logical thing. And the most logical thing is to take monetary policy away from the people who have abused it. As a result of that, when you go to work, like right now, if you're in US or America, I don't know much about Europe, but I'm sure that there's very similar things, but I'm going to speak to what I know, which is the US and Canada. You go to work. I'm going to use the American example. You go to work and you contribute to a 401k. And then you need to contribute to Roth IRAs and mutual funds and all of this bullshit that is built as a financial instrument for you to do nothing but hedge against inflation, which is another way of saying hedge against the malfeasance of governments that are stealing from you. If they wake up and just go to a monetary standard like Bitcoin that can't be manipulated by governments, you don't need a 401k. All you need to do is go to work, do your job, spend less than you make, and you will have an abundant retirement. Because the world gets more efficient every single day. We live in a deflationary world with an inflationary money. It doesn't line up. Everything gets easier. Internet gets cheaper. Gas is easier to produce. Farming gets more and more optimized. International shipping is more and more optimized. Ease of commerce is more and more optimized. Yet we pay more and more and more and more and more and more for that. That's a result of broken money. If we see this mass awakening, people will just realize, oh fuck, I should have just used this stuff where everything gets cheaper. Imagine if you have a goal in your life where it's just like, oh, I want to buy a house one day, but I don't want to spend more than 20 million sats on that house. All you have to do is just continue to go to work, and eventually the price of the house will reach. Like if it's 50 million sats and you want to pay 20 million, given enough time, it will drop in value because the world gets more efficient and the dilution and more houses get built. Eventually that 50 million sat house will be worth 20 million sats and you'll be able to buy it. Anyways. I own a lot of corn in cold storage, and there's still a posse of elites fixing the system. Maybe not as much as you, but I'm probably up there. And there's still the possibility of elites they're not going to fix the system. We're too far gone, man. The system broke when the US decided to go against the Bretton Woods Agreement. They manipulated the Bretton Woods Agreement. Okay, let me rephrase that. Can the elites fix it? Yes, if they go to Bitcoin. If the US adopts Bitcoin, actually adopts it, and adopts the fair use and transfer and protects makes transfer of value a basic human right, then yeah, we can steer in the right direction. I just don't think they're doing that. I think they've started to embrace crypto. I think they've started to embrace Bitcoin because the bond markets are dying. People are not buying US treasuries. So a good solution to that is to push Tether into every corners of the world. So I think the whole play with the US government right now is to get Tether out there. Get Tether in the hands of every country that wants to use a dollar. It's not about Bitcoin. But if they do adopt Bitcoin, and if they do start to transition away from the dollar, you can't have both. You can't have the dollar and Bitcoin in the same legislation. But if the government truly moves to a Bitcoin standard, then yes, of course, that will be amazing. That will be incredible. I do think that we will see some countries try to do that. El Salvador, a very small step in that direction, but nobody uses Bitcoin. They don't. Let's be real. You've seen the videos. Nobody in El Salvador is using Bitcoin except Bitcoiners who visit Bitcoin Beach. But anyways. Roger Ver left and got arrested because he allegedly underreported his assets. Yeah, there's ways to avoid that I can't really talk about. Post universal adoption of BTC, capital denomination in BTC will be invested to produce goods and services, farm, etc. The expectations will be to produce more than the capital in BTC that is invested. Fiat money systems and modern banking are a part of larger conspiracies orchestrated by powerful entities to control and manipulate society. 100%. Given the current rabbit hole at the top, when alphanumerics turns red, would you liquidate your cold storage if there is a risk of an 8-year bear market? Now, this is where, my decisions could negatively affect others if I share exactly what it is that I'm going to do. I'm going to sell some, but the majority of my Bitcoin will just be Bitcoin. The value of that, when you look at it in dollars, will go down. I will hold through the bear market. I'll sell some, but it's going to be used to buy other assets. I'm not going to hold dollars. My plan is to set up a little bit of a home base. Like many of you know, I'm a digital nomad. I don't have roots set down anywhere. I will probably set down roots in a legislation that I think is most favorable and future-proof. And I'm not going to say which legislation I believe that is to be, but I will set down some roots under a government that I think is at least looking into the future. So I will sell some Bitcoin to do that, to buy some property so that I can keep costs low. Because if we are looking at an extended bear market, I'm going to need to cut costs and keep costs low. But for all the reasons that I just mentioned, my willingness to want to opt out of the system, I'm not going to sell all my Bitcoin. Now, that may not be the right choice for you. It's the right choice for me. I've been in Bitcoin a long time. I am quite happy with my Bitcoin stack. I've been accumulating Bitcoin since it was $2,000. I'm in a very different position than a lot of other people. So, take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what it is that I'm doing, and I'm happy to give you the play-by-play on how I'm doing my portfolio allocations, but just keep in mind that it's up to you to make up your own mind on what you're going to do. And it's up to you to decide how you're going to manage your own finances, because it's not my responsibility. I'm going to handle things in a way that many people will think is stupid because we're still early. So, be that as it may, that's what my plan is. Bretton Woods was broken by the euro-dollar system when the Bank of England loaned dollars into existence and tried to exchange those new dollars for gold. There was no way to maintain the gold standard. Very good. Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. So it was So what you're saying is it was a retaliatory measure against Britain, or just the U.S. taking the stance that, if they're going to print dollars, then we're going to print more and not be bound by the restrictions of gold, which, brings me back to the point at which I made already. A government can't exist. A truly free system can't exist with both the dollar and the underlying asset that binds the dollar. Gold was never going to work. Let's face it, gold was never going to work. The reason that we went to a fiat standard in the first place, the reason we went to paper money in the first place, was because gold is a fucking pain in the ass. It's heavy. You can't divide it. You can't go to the grocery store and buy shit with a little gold coin. You need all this. It was never going to work. But Bitcoin doesn't have that problem. Bitcoin is global, instant, free, infinitely divisible. It doesn't hold the same properties of gold. So where gold required paper accounting, Bitcoin doesn't. Bitcoin's everything all in one. So, there is a chance, there is an opportunity for a system that has a lot more staying power and is free from corruption for a longer period of time. Notice that I don't say a solution for forever, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. And I think that the world goes through these cycles where you go through hard money cycles to fiat money cycles, hard money cycles to fiat money cycles. And we have this playbook that plays over and over and over again. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the concept of anacyclosis, which is the cycles of government, but part of the cycles of government is manipulating of the money supply. I think Bitcoin is a good step in the right direction to kind of slow that cycle down and create an era of abundance that will last a lot longer, because America really got it right. The early America really got it right up into the 70s, from the 18 whatevers when the American revolutionaries, revolted against Britain, to 1971 when Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard. That whole period of government was very well thought out and very effective and very powerful. Same with the Roman government. The Roman Republic was a really well thought out, well structured and powerful form of government. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-government corruption. I'm anti-monetary policy manipulation. And I think that Bitcoin has a chance to bring us into an era of large abundance like America had in the earlier years. It was banking cartels manipulating the world like they always have. They strip mine countries like locusts and then move to the next field. Yep. Yeah, there's a cycle to it. There's a cycle to it. But with Bitcoin, you don't need a bank. So there's that as well. Now, I'm not foolish enough to think that there's never going to be banks. And I'm not foolish enough to think that within my lifetime, I will see a future without banks. Those institutions are strong and they're going to continue for a long time. But I think that as the world goes towards more automations and accountability, governance, machine governance, as the world trends towards machine governance, I think you will see more and more opportunity for people to be removed from the equation, because men are corruptible. What's the saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So just remove man from the equation. Get man out of the equation. Come up with some sort of system of government that is machine operated. I'm here for the hopium of BTC making the world better versus we're all doomed to watch the world burn under the commie dictatorship. I hold out for the hope that the world will get better. Meow. Yeah. Anyways. Massive divergence. This is me, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, I am a trader. I am a digital nomad. I trade for a living. I travel the world and, try to make a good life for myself. But at my core, I'm a hardcore fucking Bitcoiner. I'm a hardcore Bitcoiner that does not like the government, that does not like a lot of things about the current control systems. Anyways, I think we should get back on track here because I've already been ranting for like 20 minutes. So let's get back into the TA. Apologies to those who have just been waiting for me to talk about fucking altcoins. But I hope you enjoyed the rant. I promise not to do it too often, but there you have it. Bitcoin dominance. Now my tone has to change entirely. Bitcoin dominance continues to climb. It's not the time for alts. It's not the time for alts. When this changes direction, changes trend to the downside, you'll get your 30x. That doesn't mean, hey, this guy's calling for a 30x. I should buy this, that, and the other. It means no, wait. And then when this shifts, we will buy our alts. And when we buy our alts, we will get that 30x. ETH BTC, doing okay. Doing okay. Still waiting for that move down. I still think that we're going to come back down to 1.7 million sats per ETH before getting a recovery and taking out this high at around 3 million sats. Once we clear the 3 million sats, we'll probably clear this downward sloping line of resistance, and that will be the beginning of the full-blown melt your face altcoin season. But until then, we just gotta hold fast, hold steady. Solana BTC, similar story. Just overall volumes in the market are just really low. Let's take a look at the volume. Volume's just dead. Volume's dead. And that's the story across the board. If we actually take a look at total, let's just take a look at total. Oh, that's total 3. Let's just do total market cap and look at the volume. So there's Bitcoin volume coming in. Let's go total 3. Let's go total 3. I think that's a more fair chart than total 2 because ETH has been so abysmal. It's actually, well, we had this big blip in volume, but it's been declining, right? Volume's actually higher than I thought, but it's still in a decline. And when you look at it from the point of view of bear market lows, you know, we're currently, like, seriously, like right now, I know it's a new week. Yeah, we'll give it some time. We're kind of up at this level in terms of volume. So not the bear market lows levels of volumes, but certainly the low, the consolidation areas of volume. You can see over here, this level of volume corresponds to this right before the massive breakout. This area of volume corresponds to this consolidation right here before the massive breakout. This consolidation right here correlates with this area that's boring, but we are calling for a massive breakout in Bitcoin, and there will be a massive breakout in alts. But until we get the cooperation on Bitcoin dominance, we can only assume that it's lower levels from here for altcoins. All right, how's Sonic doing? Shit. Sonic's doing shit. Track's doing shit. Cardano's doing shit. XRP's doing meh. Somebody wanted to take a look at Chainlink, so sorry that you had to. If you're still here, shout out if you're still here. A lot of people don't like my rants, but I don't know. I get pretty passionate about the problems of the world and how we're sitting on a solution that nobody cares about. But Chainlink, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's one of the better charts out there as far as altcoins are concerned. Like if we take a look at take a look at stuff like XRP, XRP USD. No. Actually, XRP USD is looking much better than XRP BTC. Let's go back to Link. What's a good comparative for Link? See, I always catch myself looking at, I should be focused on the Bitcoin pair because there's no point in taking a position in an altcoin unless it is outperforming the Bitcoin pair. So why don't we just do that? Link BTC. That'll be easier for me to read. So we're down at the lows of this consolidation. So the fiat setup actually looks not bad. The US dollar setup does not look bad, and we're sitting on support. We're sitting on support here for Chainlink. So this is as good a price as any. Now, don't buy it yet. It's not time to buy it yet. If you're concerned about a position that you already hold, cool. You hold a position, you hold a bag of Chainlink, and you want to know what's going to happen next. I think there's a probability that this low creates some sort of a double bottom and you begin to repair the trend over the next few months. Once the key to all of this is just Bitcoin dominance falling down. As soon as Bitcoin dominance falls down, you'll start to see real repair of the trend. Let's go back to Chainlink USD. And this setup does not look that bad. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing, just different assets, right? So we were looking at BTC. It was sitting on support. Now that support was in a downtrend. So it was a new low as far as sats. This is a new high in terms of US dollars, but they're both sitting at a very interesting support level. This, you know, the support level being this area right here. Oops. This area right here. So this is where you would be seeing a bounce. No follow through, no volume. We can see the volumes downtrending volume since the pump. It's nothing but down. It's even equal to the volume levels that we saw in the bear market. So this is more representative of what I was trying to show you. So here's the bear market, right? So you look at the price action in the bear market, then you look at the average kind of volume level in there. And you can see that, you know, if we just estimate the average volume, there's some that is above, there's some that's below. So you just kind of put it in the middle. When you look at that, we're at bear market lows as far as volume is concerned. And that's not surprising. That's not surprising. That's the altcoin market right now. Yeah, you know, we got some people talking about taking a look at MSTR. That might be more interesting to look at, honestly, because there has been so much more interest in Bitcoin treasury companies than there has been on other assets. So taking a look at MSTR, MicroStrategy or strategy, it's in a really good position. This is a nice little, I don't know, you could even make the argument that it's kind of like a cup and handle. It's not textbook by any means. This is not a textbook cup and handle, but sometimes you need to just ask yourself, what is the pattern that you're trying to identify mean? What does a cup and handle mean? To me, a cup and handle is a rally that establishes a level of resistance. So it is a rally that establishes a level of resistance right here. There was a blow off. You got to ignore blow offs. You ignore blow off tops to the upside. You ignore capitulation candles to the downside, and you find the true market structure. We've established a top here. We came up to it. If you wanted to be more conservative, you could do something like this. We came up to it, got a little bit of a retracement, and we're below it. So the action event, the actionable event here for MicroStrategy is going to be a break above that line, however you choose to draw it. If you were wanting to be, early to the party but take more risk, I would put it down here, which it looks like we're about to break out any day now. Or if you wanted to be more conservative, I would put it up here at the prior swing high structure that was built. Purple candle on the weekly. No purple candle on the weekly here for MSTR, so you must be referencing something else, and we'll take a look at that. You've spammed a few tickers, but it's looking good. You know, we're expecting a breakout on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out, everything attached to Bitcoin breaks out. The Bitcoin treasury companies are going to do well. The altcoins are going to do well. Bitcoin is the DJ. And when the music's singing, people are having a good time, right? So it's a setup. It's looking good. It's clean. It's showing demand to me. The bulls are here in MicroStrategy. And if we can get that break above 420, that's funny. If we break above 420, what a meme. What a meme this stock is. Starting to lose my voice. Excuse me. So a break above 420, that's so funny. Break above 420 would be a continuation move. That's a signal to the market that MSTR is ready to move. But I do think that MSTR is going to lag Bitcoin. So that'll be a more clear signal to the market is Bitcoin starts to rally. Bitcoin will start to rally, then MSTR will start to rally, then alts will start to rally, then the real degen stuff like ordinals and shit will start to rally. But it'll take a while. It's all good. You've personally been a big help to me. Learn more about trading, give me more conviction in BTC. That's what I like to hear, and confirm my crazy price predictions. Please share your crazy price predictions. I love a crazy price prediction. And then the other ticker from MG asking Nakamoto and CEP. Let's take a look at Nako. Those are both Bitcoin treasury companies. This is on Poloniex. What do we care about that? Oh, I got to go to stocks here. NASDAQ. Kindly? That doesn't seem right. Nakamoto. Where is Nakamoto trading? There is a purple candle in the Discord. Purple candle where? On MSTR? Oh, I don't have alphanumerics on. My bad. My apologies. I didn't have alphanumerics on. Sorry, sir. Sorry to you, sir. Yeah. Oh, so this is a perfect setup. This is exactly what you want to see when these purple phantom candles come in. So for those who don't know, this is our custom indicator. You don't need to buy it. You can gain plenty of alpha by just being in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, it's super easy. Just go to blackbox.pro and go to the top right here, join trading community. It's also been spamming in the chat for the last hour. But yeah, this setup, what this setup means, this is an EXA cross, and I don't know what the fucking EXA cross means. You're going to have to ask Matt. I know alphanumerics very well, with the exception of the phantom candle, so forgive me. But what I do know is the phantom candle marks very significant moves. So you can see here the last purple phantom candle here. It had a rally into its blow off top. It did a 200% up only rally after that. Now, generally speaking, what you'll get is a 10, 15, or 20% retracement after the purple candle flashes. This one it didn't. But generally speaking, it does. So here's the last time, the time before when it happened. You got the purple candle, and it did retrace about 17% before doing a big fuck you move. Now, here we got the purple candle. It retraced about 15%. That's what we're looking for, a 15% retracement. So it's very, very likely, statistically speaking, based on historical data, based off of all the information that we have from the past, what we can expect. Nobody has a crystal ball. You can't predict the future. Okay. But historically speaking, the next move is going to be a banger. Let's pretend we get, usually these moves throughout a bull market are exponentially larger than the next. So the first rally off of the purple candle gave us a rally of 285. That's not right. No, that is right. 278. And then the candle after that, the last rally was 200. So let's say it does 150, just to be conservative. It's going to $1,000. Psychological level. The psychological level of $1,000 per MSTR. Not financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just reporting what has taken place in the past and creating a probability bias for what could happen in the future. I think that there is a high probability meaning 70% probability that the next major impulse for MSTR is going to bring us to $1,000. Kindly is the company. Okay. I think it's going to be 1 million plus this cycle and may run through 2026. All right. Well, we're on the same page. We're on the same crazy fucking page. They bought kindly. Okay. MSDR perfect. Okay. Yeah. I screenshotted it. Best one would put us to $2,500 a share. I think that's very feasible. You know, we always approach the market with those conservative targets first. I think the power that the purple candle can play out on the charts can get us to $1,000, which makes sense for a psychological level. But I agree with you that I don't think that that would be the end of the bull market. I don't think that would be the end of the marking up of the share. So $2,500 seems right. Sounds right. Sounds right to me. All right, let's go to Naka. Naka kindly MD. Is that really it? What did you say about it? Kindly is the company. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this one got blown out of proportion real quick. It's in retracement zone. So are we looking at a shallow retracement or are we looking at a deep retracement? We're going to go from the low here to the high. We're already in deep retracement territory. So this one can probably do a full retrace, honestly, back to some structure. So full retrace back to structure is going to be something like this. Something like that. Full retrace back to structure brings you to around $5. $5. It doesn't have to go back that far. Okay, it does not have to go back that far. If Bitcoin starts rallying, if MSTR breaks out, this thing will reverse and it will go. If we continue with multiple weeks of sideways trading price action, I would not be surprised to see a full retrace back down to 5. That's all I'm saying. But if the volume comes back into the market, this will get back on top of the 7. If it reclaims the 7, we're looking really good. But the fact that we're below the 7 on the weekly, and if we go to the daily, it's probably not much better. Yet the price is below all 3 moving averages. We're below the 7, we're below the 30, we're below the 50, and the 7 has crossed below the 30 and is about to confirm across below the 50. Momentum is really, really died down here on Nakamoto. So just don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised. It's a ketamine company. That's funny. Ketamine company turned into BTC Treasury. Yeah, we're going to see more and more of that nonsense in the markets. You know, I can't wait till there's a BTC Treasury company, you know, like Black Box. Like we're not a publicly traded company, but we're a BC Treasury company. Everything, BTC Treasury company. Everything that we do, all the vendors that we pay, everybody that we work with, we are 100% Bitcoin denominated. If you guys didn't know that, and I'm quite proud of that. Our corporate treasury is 100% BTC. Every transaction that we make with any single person at Blackbox is in BTC. We are completely out of the fiat system. Our company does not have a bank account. Our company will never have a bank account. And I'm pretty proud of that. So the point I'm trying to make here is I can't wait till there's a publicly traded Bitcoin treasury company that's just a company that happens to use BTC. Because right now it's, you know, a dead software company, Michael Saylor. It's a dead software company that changed its strategy to a Bitcoin treasury company to sell shares and create this bullshit infinite money glitch. And then you've got a ketamine company that is just adopting a Bitcoin treasury company. Like, they don't transact in Bitcoin. You can't buy ketamine with Bitcoin. They're not actually a Bitcoin company. They're just adopting this MicroStrategy. It's a shitcoin. Yeah. It's a shitcoin. They're all shitcoins. They're all shitcoins. But it'll be exciting when there actually is a Bitcoin treasury company that's actually a Bitcoin company. That'll be cool. And you spammed another ticker there. There was one more. CEP. Cantor Equity Partners. Just going to go ahead and say yes. Similar structure to Naka. We're in deep retracement zone. Deep retracement, go from the area of the impulse to the swing high. We're flirting with the 618, but we definitely got below it. Looking at the daily, we are below the 7, we are below the 30, we are below the 50. The 7 has crossed below the 30, it has crossed below the 50. Momentum is to the downside. So MicroStrategy looking strong. MicroStrategy looking strong. Lesser known, more reflexive Bitcoin treasury companies looking very weak and are relying on the strength of Bitcoin and the strength of MicroStrategy to get the recovery that they need. So if that recovery doesn't come soon, it's the same story. It's the same story. You know, you're looking at full retrace, right? So that's right back down to $10. Full retrace is a potential as it stands right now. If the momentum doesn't come into the market, if Bitcoin doesn't make a move up, if MicroStrategy doesn't make a move up, these lesser liquid Bitcoin treasury companies will continue their trend to the downside. But that can change in an instant if Bitcoin breaks out. So it's really all eyes on Bitcoin. Explain Bitcoin dominance. Remind us. It just means that this is a measure of Bitcoin's dominance in this market cycle. As this chart trends up, you don't want to be exposed to alts. Really, forget this chart for a sec. Bitcoin dominance trending up, meaning higher highs and higher lows. When it's trending up, don't buy alts. No alts. Ixnay on the alts tay, okay? Now, the moment that trend shifts, so you get a trend change, as soon as it changes from an uptrend, yes, this is my 4-year-old drawing, to a downtrend, got to be careful I don't accidentally draw a dick here. Until that happens, you just stay out of alts and you have a Bitcoin position. That's it. That's the whole secret to the market. That's the whole secret that all the sneaky KOLs don't want to tell you. They want to tell you that Bitcoin or that altcoin season has happened and that we're in full-blown altcoin season and you just get wrecked. Alts are down 90%. Most alts are down 90%. Bitcoin's up 600%. So when this chart is going up, just chill. You don't have to do altcoin research. You don't have to worry about portfolio allocation. You don't have to do any of that shit. When this chart is trending up, you are in Bitcoin. Simple as that. When it changes directions, now you take positions in alts. That's it. Keep it simple. Keep it super simple. Interesting part about CEP is the merger with 21. Bitfinex and Tether involvement. Jack Mallers involved in well. Okay. Yeah, interesting. That is interesting indeed. All right. I think we're going to wrap things up here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to wrap things up here. Bitcoin's looking frisky. Back above 109. Back above 109. The red day has flipped into a green day. Breakout imminent. That's basically the long and short of it, ladies and gentlemen. Breakout on Bitcoin imminent. We will probably see it by the next time that we go live. So we're still long and strong. How are we doing on our trade? Oh boy, we got $2,000 on this trade. Ooh. What's that, like a month of groceries these days? Anyways, if you guys are interested in the trading group, super easy to join. Go to blackbox.pro. Links are everywhere, including in this chat, where you can just click on the link, click join trading community, and get into the free Bitcoin trading server where we are trading, sharing our entries, exits, take profits, all of that jazz. And we will one day, I promise you, we will be sharing altcoin setups when it is altcoin season. When it is altcoin season, we will be there. When the bear market comes, you will be selling the top. If you want to make the biggest money-making moves in crypto, join the community, like, subscribe, do all the things, follow me on Twitter, tweet me shit, do whatever you want, hang out in the Discord. Until next time, please trade safe